Right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and today, my friends, we're back with a High Elf vs. Kislev showdown here in the Immortal Empires. It's going to be an Archmage of Metal facing off against a Patriarch, so two relatively unorthodox lore choices, I suppose. The Patriarch, of course, is a hero, which means Kislev has their wizard or some sort of a character in reserve. Now, as far as my experiences with the High Elves go, so let's take a quick moment to kind of talk about this. I played about 3 or 4 High Elf games so far in the Immortal Empires, and I have to say, guys, I'm really not hating on them. I've had pretty good experiences with both Cathay and High Elves, which are two factions I theorized would be some of the worst, and, you know, honestly, I think High Elves have got some tools, so let's go ahead and break it down. So, against Kislev, White Lions are a great choice. Now, number one, they're pretty good against Cav. Honestly, they have good armor against the Kislev Shot Cav, which lacks armor piercing. So they can go fisticuffs and fight like Winged Lancers and Griffin Legion. They have missile resist from their Lion's Pelt of 30%. So if they're being shot by Kossar, Streltsy, sleds, they're going to be a little bit more durable. And they have really good general armor piercing. So if they're fighting against the Kislevite infantry, they're typically going to be favored. I mean, honestly, pretty good against most of the Kislev roster. Weak against the Chariots, of course, but, you know, you can't have everything. Now, as far as the rest of the build goes, it's going to be Lothern Seaguard. So I like these guys a lot in this matchup. If they do get caught by any sort of Kislev Cav, they're going to be able to fight them off relatively effectively. They can sit on objectives and shoot at enemies, and they're no slouches in combat. You can see with 52 melee defense, I mean, that really is a good objective holding unit. And what we do is if they bring any armor, so let's say a Zarguard, any sort of a Cav unit, you know, Bear Riders, we use the Plague of Rust from our Archmage to lower down the armor, and we're going to be able to melt them. We have a couple Silverin Guard, so one here, and other Silverin Guard units going to be up on the high ground holding the objective. And again, for the same reason, like High Elf Spearmen are kind of lame because they have low armor, but these guys have 75 armor, so they can take shot cav charges even if they're not braced, and it's not going to melt them, so it makes it much tougher for Kislev to get us off the point. Last but not least, we have an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, and that is it. Now for the forces of Kislev here, it looks like it's going to be a front line of Kossars with Spears, backed up by 2 Little Groms. We have a Patriarch looking for some fat heals, Horse Archers, and more Kossars. So looking to, you know, we basically have a Lothern Seaguard duel, right? Kossars are an unbreakable version of them, but of course do not have the shields or a little bit less armor. The Lothern Seaguard do have 40 armor and silver shields, and these guys do not. Also range differential, the High Elves do have better range, so I think the trading in that regard will be very massively favored here for the Elves. So in the back, double Little Grom is the big thing they have going for them. I'm going to start getting shelled by Little Groms almost instantly. You can see the cannonballs are going downtown, and my poor White Lions here are going to be just eating cannonballs to the face. Ooh, big shot right there, man. Lots of damage. They're down 21 models already. And it's definitely stressful. I mean, if I overextend into his deployment zone, it could really play into his hands. But overall, like, I am actually not a big fan in domination mode of artillery, like these really expensive artillery pieces like Little Grom. I think like for the Empire and Cathay, it's a little bit more, it makes a little bit more sense, but in this case, like, I'm going to be able to get a good foothold on this objective. The back objective with the Silverin Guard and Phoenix Guard, and that's one of the things I like about High Elves. They have very good independent objective holder units. Silverin Guard, White Lions can do it if you need to, but Phoenix Guard are also really good at sitting on a back objective. But we're going to be doing a triple pressure build here. So we do have the Silverin Guard on 3, we have the middle objective, and now we're setting up White Lions here because nothing over here is good against White Lions. Like, any trading is going to be going in our favor as our infantry are going to be pressing onto the point, and the objectives will be opening up here in a couple seconds. So now the Lothern Seaguard are going to be moving over to the side, looking to threaten 1, while our Haggard Bolt Thrower in the back actually gets some pretty good value against Little Grom. Certainly not going to be complaining. So first bombardment spell will be going down from our Archmage. It is going to be a Searing Doom, while some Horse Archers move to go after Silverin Guard to try and poke me off, but they have silver shields, so not really a big deal there. And we do get some big nukes. So the Kossars with Spears, paying the troll toll a little bit. You know, you could do, you know, shadows. You could do an Archmage of Shadows too. But if you're going to be going Lothern Seaguard, I think you do want to have the Plague of Rust. It's going to be pretty essential. So White Lions and Illyrian Reavers are moving in. Now, a comparison. The Kossovite Dervishes have the advantage of being unbreakable because they're Kislevites, but overall Reavers are kind of a superior unit. If you look here, you can see 28, 24, 28 against 32, 38, 28, and more armor. I think the speed is a little bit favorable for the Dervishes as well, but I mean, yeah, the Dervishes are unbreakable, which is very nice. Now, White Lions of Crace advancing up. Like I said, the 30% missile resist, pretty crucial for sure. We have the Lothern Seaguard shooting up over the high ground here, trying to wear down the Kossars with Spears, as our other Lothern Seaguard do get in position. And we're going to be pressing this point. We see a Capture Cat coming in. Capture Cats are good anti-large, so with a little bit of support, they should help. Another bombardment coming in, the Searing Doom. And in the middle, Kislev is going to be advancing up. You know, the Little Groms have gotten some work in, but really, like, yeah, they do tickle the pickle of these units, but they just don't have the DPS to clear through all these very cost-effective infantry. But this top fight's going to be very important. Now, we do have the Illyrian Reavers fighting in the bushes against the Dervishes, or the trees, I should say. And the White Lions of Krace just proving to be very cost effective as they fight the Kossars in melee, and the Archmage is going to be dropping more Witchcraft, and now they're advancing into my position. So this is going to be rough. My Lothern Seaguard are ready. They have the range advantage, and the White Lions are just kind of eating these shots to the face a little bit. But the White Lions will be advancing up here in a second, so we do have 69. Oh, it's 49. Okay, the Blessed number was not given to us today, and they do charge in. Kossars are very jacked, but they, of course, are not armored, nor they're wielding giant battle axes. They just have their kind of haggard spears, but we'll see how they hold. On the side, Little Grom still shooting in. The other Little Grom, you know, doing a bit. I mean, it's gotten 110 kills and almost 800 value, so that value on the Groms isn't terrible, I suppose. But the Reavers are massively out-trading the Dervishes up on the high ground. Granted, Dob did summon in some of the Warbear Riders right here. So the Warbear Riders are here. Their armor is sundered. I was trying to rip some shots on them, but the Capture Cat and the Patriarch were able to get in, and I kind of like the Patriarch Lord choice. The one thing I think would be really good for Kislev here would be the what's it called? Come on, Brain. You can remember the Blizzard from the Lore of Tempest. Dropping that on top of my like static archer positions would just be so good. And you know, Silver and Guard don't really care about the horse archers. They're just going to eat those shots all day. Now, Kislev does have a nasty little blob here, and Lothern Seaguard, why I like them is their spear unit. So they can move up and they can fight, and then they're not going to just like take these bears to town, but they will get a little bit of anti-large poke. The anti-large bonus, of course, helps them do a little bit of DPS, and they're holding them in the choke, right? Otherwise, they could be collapsing here. A little bit of haggard positioning for my Silver and Guard should have moved them up. But the White Lions of Krace able to really bunker bust the front line of Kislev, while one Little Grom actually does fall. So the Bolt Thrower in the back, just the cheap 700 gold Bolt Thrower, you know, massively pays for itself. Now, Reavers still fighting Dervishes. The initial White Line that we sent up there is just doing a great job. And, you know, we're not seeing too many Kislev infantry, right? Because I guess in a way they wouldn't trade super well with the White Lions. Although I wouldn't hate seeing like a single Zargard. Like I feel like a Zargard unit could really kick the butt of a White Lion and it would be a pretty cost-effective trade. Now, Bat Cap attempt, Capture Cat being sent in. We do have the Reavers and the Silver and Guard. Horse Archers are here, and another Capture Cat's going to be moving on over to the back objective, while Kislev continues to Royal Rumble here in the middle. So the Frostbite is active, not going to do a whole lot, and this is going to be the downfall of the Bears. Overcasted Plague of Rust, only 40 armor, no shields, double Lothern Seaguard shooting into them, and they're going to start taking some massive damage as the other Silver and Guard do move up here, and the other White Lions are just kind of standing idle, but they should definitely be engaging here. Although I think he was trying to bait me into a Heart of Winter. I think there was a reason why I wasn't engaging with everything. Yeah, the Ice Witch is coming, and she does have a Heart of Winter and some other Glacial Blast spells. So we do split up a little bit, pull back the Lothern Seaguard, and the White Lions are going to continue holding the objective while we are up by quite a bit of value right now. So we're up by, I would say, maybe like 1,500, 2,000, give or take. But the Illyrian Reavers move in into the back of the Kossars who are busy in combat. The White Lions of Krace, for some reason, I think I had an attack order on something that, you know, went out of line of sight, so they kind of dropped their order there. Going to be moving back in. Meanwhile, Kislev continues to try and rumble on this objective, but the Silver and Guard proving to be a very, very tough piece. Like, I don't think there's anything in the Kislev roster outside of, like, Zargard that would effectively remove them. And much of the High Elf infantry seems very, very effective in this matchup, but fear not. I have some schemes from the Kislev perspective, and overall, Kislev has been a very big powerhouse faction. Like, in my matches with Kislev versus the Old World, they are very, very good and very, very strong. So for you Kislevites, don't you worry. They certainly can get the job done. Now, Heart of Winter going down does do a little bit of topical damage, but the Bears have been broken. And at this point, we do have more or less a triple cap position. The high ground objective has been taken. The two White Lions of Krace have done it. The middle objective is firmly under our control here. We do have, you know, the Kislev Goon Squad, but now the Fireborn are here. And the Fireborn are going to make quick work, and as soon as they're seen, that is going to be GG. So really, guys, I don't think the Kislev build was optimal, and neither did my opponent. We both kind of talked about it afterwards. And remember, these are our first games playing these matchups. Nobody really knows what to expect. We're all experimenting, so take all these matches with a grain of salt for sure. But yeah, the Groms, I mean, okay value, but I think that's the wrong way. I think what you do is Streltsy. So you go with Streltsy or Armored, so the Elven shooting isn't going to kill them quickly, and they'll be able to blast the White Lions despite the missile resist. The build that I theory crafted for this matchup was it's 4 Streltsy, 3 Light War Sleds, because the Light War Sleds will wreck a lot of these units. Now, in response to the Light War Sleds, I do have Silverhelms, Fireborn, and Reavers, all of which can kind of stop them, but really I feel like the sleds are the epicenter of how Kislev would effectively play this matchup, especially against the Elven infantry, which is very expensive and does not want to be getting run over by chariots. But I do feel that you go with like 4 Streltsy, you go with a couple sleds as well. And I would go and like show you the build, but unfortunately in this build, the build that we're showing here, we're not allowed to show you guys the menus. So we have to, because there's a bunch of like bugs and issues and things like that. So we have to wait. But yeah, it was 4 Streltsy, 3 sleds, Ice Witch of Tempest to drop the Tempest on top of the archer units. I actually had a high elf build against Kislev that was pretty good. It was a net build, so you use a net and then you use Sisters of Avalorn against Kislev, which was really good. You net the chariots and snipe them, and then you use Fireborn to stop the charges. A lot of cool builds, man. I'm so excited. My passion is so reinvigorated for the game. There's so much I want to explore in the meta. I want to host tournaments. I want to see what you guys bring to the table. That's what I'm most excited for. And man, I just hope that we can get it sooner. Just give it to us, Precious. But we'll give it to everyone, because yeah, it's fun playing with other folks who do this kind of stuff for a living. But I really just want to play with all of you guys and have tournaments, and the community stuff is the most fun, But you guys get it. All right, take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. High Elves, honestly, not terrible, guys. I think they're gonna have some good matchups, some bad ones, but really no faction really feels terrible. The one that probably feels the worst, sadly, is the Dwarves. Not having the mobility is rough, that's for sure. But I mean, Dwarves are actually good on this map. They're really good on Broken Leg Gully, because they can push up the middle and they have their flanks covered, and then they can just camp like an Iron Breaker on the back objective. So yeah, they're good on this map, but Dwarves in general on any bigger maps, it's really rough. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time, and that is it for now.